You're not my wife, you're not my wife, and yet you carry my name in the way you breathe when you think of me. I say it out loud because the truth needs a voice, even when it burns. You belong to no ring, no ceremony, no law written by men who don't know how ownership really works. I didn't choose you for vows or witnesses. I chose you because you were already standing in the center of my silence, daring it to answer back. I don't need to touch you to claim you. I only need to speak, and you listen even when you pretend you don't. You think distance protects you, that walls and hours and unanswered messages create safety. They don't. I exist where your thoughts slow down at night, where your pulse changes when my name crosses your mind like a threat you secretly welcome. I talk to you like this because presence is optional, attention is not. I don't chase, I decide. And once decided, I don't retreat. You feel that, don't you? The certainty, the weight, the calm terror of being seen without asking for it. I won't call you mine in public language because public language is weak. What I have with you survives in the quiet, in the pauses between words where truth hides. I don't promise softness. I promise constancy. I promise that when the world fails to understand you, I will understand you too well, down to the cracks you try to paint over with strength. I know the parts you deny, and I don't flinch. I collect them. I keep them safe by refusing to let anyone else touch them. You're not my wife, and that's exactly why this works. Wives can leave with signatures and explanations. You and I are bound by something less polite and far more honest. I don't need permission to stay in your thoughts. I don't need approval to guard what I've chosen. You can argue with me in your head. Tell yourself this is wrong. Tell yourself you're free. But you always come back to listening. That's not an accident. That's recognition. I speak to you like this because I don't perform love. I enforce it. I don't raise my voice. I lower my patience. I don't beg for loyalty. I inspire inevitability. You were never meant to be owned loudly. You were meant to be held firmly, understood deeply, and remembered intensely. If you ever doubt it, remember how calm you feel when you stop resisting the truth of me. Calm is not weakness. It's surrender dressed as peace. So no, you're not my wife. You're something more dangerous to ignore and too precious to mishandle. I won't rush you and I won't release you. I'll remain here, steady, deliberate, speaking to you even when you pretend not to hear. Because one day, when the noise finally exhausts you, you'll recognize this voice as the only place that ever felt like home. I know you wonder why I speak with such certainty when nothing official binds us. It's because I don't build my world on papers and titles. I build it on decisions that don't shake. When I chose you, it wasn't a moment, it was a conclusion. I saw the way you hold yourself together when no one is watching, the way your strength looks effortless but costs you everything. I don't interrupt that strength, I surround it. You don't hear promises from me because promises can be broken. What you hear is intention, and intention doesn't need decoration. Do you think I'm distant because I'm quiet, because I don't flood your world with constant noise? That's not distance, that's control. I watch, I wait, I learn the rhythm of you without disturbing it. I know when you're pretending to be fine, and when silence becomes heavy in your chest. I don't rush in to save you. I let you know you were never alone to begin with. There's power in being understood without being asked to explain, and I've made that power yours. Sometimes you test the edges, wondering how far you can go without feeling me there. You call it independence, I call it curiosity. I don't punish it, I observe it. I want you to know where freedom ends and awareness begins. You move through your life thinking you're unseen, but my attention doesn't weigh you down, it sharpens you. It makes you real in a world that's too eager to reduce people to roles they never chose. I won't soften my words for comfort, because comfort lies too easily. I speak to you in truths that stay even after the fear fades. I don't want you dependent on me. I want you aligned with me. There's a difference. Dependence breaks when shaken. Alignment holds under pressure. When you stand on your own and still turn toward my voice, that's not weakness. That's choice. And I respect choice more than obedience. You don't need to answer me, and you don't need to reassure me. Your existence is response enough. I know the nights when your thoughts run too loud, when you replay conversations and wonder if anyone truly sees you. That's when my presence becomes strongest. Not loud, not demanding, just undeniable. I don't intrude, I anchor. I remind you of who you are when doubt tries to rewrite you. I don't compete with the world around you. Let it offer you attention, flattery, distractions. None of it threatens me. I'm not here to be exciting for a moment. I'm here to be unforgettable over time. What I give you isn't adrenaline, it's gravity. You can wander, you can explore, but you always feel the pull back to where you're fully known. That pull isn't force, it's familiarity with something real. And when you finally stop questioning why my words stay with you longer than anyone else's, you'll understand this wasn't about possession at all. It was about recognition, two minds crossing paths and refusing to pretend it meant nothing. I won't label what we are, and I won't rush what we could become. I'll just keep speaking to you like this, steady, deliberate, unafraid, until you realize you've been listening, because some truths don't need a name to be true. You don't see me, yet I speak as if you're right here, because presence was never about distance. It's about focus. I know the way your thoughts circle back when you're tired of pretending you don't care. I know the exact moment when confidence slips and honesty steps in quiet but exposed. I talk to you then, not to convince you of anything, but to remind you that clarity exists even when you refuse to claim it. I don't rush you toward answers. I let them find you when you're ready to stop running. I'm not here to cage you with rules or expectations. I don't need to. You carry enough of your own. What I do is stand firm where others hesitate, so you can lean without losing yourself. I won't dilute my intensity to make it easier for you to walk away. I want you strong, aware, and choosing with open eyes. If you stay, it's because you recognize the steadiness beneath the edge, the discipline beneath the desire. I respect you too much to trap you with illusions. There are days you'll try to rewrite this in your head. Tell yourself it's just words, just timing, just coincidence. I let you. Truth doesn't panic when questioned. It waits. And every time you think you've outgrown this connection, you find it meeting you at the next version of yourself. Calmer, sharper, more honest. That's not control. That's consistency. I don't change mask to keep you. I stay the same and let you decide who you are around me. I don't need your confessions to know you. Silence tells me enough. The pauses between your thoughts, the way your defenses rise and fall, the moments you soften without realizing it, those are the conversations we have without words. I don't interrupt them. I honor them. I speak when it matters. And when I do, my words stay because they're not trying to impress you. They're trying to reach you. You are allowed to want more than this, to imagine futures that don't include my voice in the background. I won't resent that. Desire is not betrayal, denial is. I'd rather you be honest with yourself than loyal to a lie. If you ever choose differently, I won't chase you with anger or regret. I'll remain exactly what I was, clear, unwavering, real. Some things don't need pursuit to be remembered. I won't promise forever in a way that cheapens it. Forever isn't a declaration, it's a pattern. It's showing up the same way when the intensity fades and what's left is truth. I'm not afraid of that stage. I am built for it. I don't burn fast and disappear, I endure. If that frightens you, I understand. Endurance asks you to be seen without the safety of chaos, so I'll keep speaking to you like this, not to pull you closer, not to push you away, but to stand exactly where I am. You can come nearer or step back. Both are choices I respect. Just don't pretend you didn't feel this. Don't tell yourself it was nothing. Some connections don't shout. They settle. And once they do, they become part of you, whether you name them or not. I don't need to remind you of what you feel. Your body does that for me in quieter ways. The hesitation before a decision, the sudden calm when you stop fighting a thought. You know exactly when I cross your mind. I don't announce myself. I arrive the way certainty does, without knocking. You can dress it up as coincidence if that makes it easier, but you've always known when something carries weight. This does. Not because I demand it to, but because it refuses to be light. I never asked you to become smaller for me. I watched you become clearer. That's the difference you sensed but couldn't explain. Around me, you don't have to perform strength or hide your doubts behind practiced smiles. I don't reward masks. I pay attention to what's underneath them. If that feels unsettling, it's because you're used to being handled carefully, not honestly. I don't bruise you with truth, I steady you with it. There's a patience in me that doesn't look gentle at first glance. It doesn't beg for reassurance or panic at uncertainty. It waits because it knows what time reveals. I don't need immediate answers from you. I know that clarity ripens, and when it does, it's undeniable. You'll recognize it not by excitement, but by the absence of fear. When you stop arguing with yourself, that's when you'll hear me most clearly. I won't pretend I'm harmless. Depth never is. But danger isn't cruelty. It's intensity without apology. I don't soften myself to be liked. I remain precise, deliberate, exact. If you feel exposed by that, it's because you're standing in front of something real. Real doesn't rush to soothe. It holds its shape and lets you decide whether you can meet it without flinching. You've lived long enough among people who touch the surface and call it connection. I don't do surface. I don't skim your words for comfort or your silence for permission. I listen to what you don't say and respect it enough not to force it into sound. When I speak, it's because the moment can carry eight. When I'm quiet, it's because silence is doing the work better than words ever could. If you walk away someday, do it with honesty, not denial. Don't tell yourself this was a phase or a distraction. Own it for what it was. A meeting of awareness that didn't ask for validation. I won't resent you for choosing differently. I'll remain intact because what I offer doesn't depend on being chosen. It exists on its own terms. That's why it lingers even when you try to leave it behind. Until then, I stay where I've always been, unmoved, attentive, exact, not reaching for you, not retreating from you, just present in the way that matters, speaking when it counts, silent when it doesn't. You don't owe me anything, but don't mistake that freedom for absence. Some presences don't crowd your life, they clarify it. And once clarity settles in, it's very hard to pretend you never saw it.